Hello, and welcome back to Matrix Breakers, where we discuss everything about living outside of the matrix, thinking differently, and doing life differently. And today we're going to have a special podcast. I have my girlfriend, Kasey Sphire, and Kaylee Smith, which is a client of Kasey's, who we're going to be able to witness a live coaching session go down. And a lot of people ask questions around what coaching looks like, especially nowadays, and why people love coaches and why people are getting these coaches to help them improve their lives, help them actually achieve their goals and be accountable to what they desire in life. So many wonderful things. And hopefully today, based on this experience, all of you can not only see what Kasey is magnificently equipped to do, but also what coaches in general can do for your life. And that is the intention for today's broadcast. And so on this podcast, for those listening, maybe who are new to the podcast, who have never heard my podcast before, it is about thinking differently. And we discuss how there is a matrix in our lives, personally, spiritually, and of course we know politically and even culturally. And we want to navigate the world by seeing through the matrix and being able to break through various different ones along this journey. And that way you can live a free life, right? You don't want to live a life being told how to live or what to do. You want to be able to break free from that. And so that's what we discuss here on this podcast. That is if you're new and you're learning from it for the first time. I'll have Kasey here introduce herself and introduce the concept that we're looking to accomplish today.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you so much for having us on, and thank you, Kaylee, for being here today. So my name is Kasey Sphire. I'm a transformational coach, and I work with people using tools to tap into the subconscious mind and do a lot of rewiring and repatterning so that people can actually move forward with their goals, create new habits, create new lifestyles, and really ultimately transform in a really powerful way into a more confident, embodied, empowered individual. I'm deeply passionate about this work, and I feel like this is really relevant, especially this time of year. This is one of my favorite times of the year. It's a new year, new beginning, and a lot of people get really amped up and excited about creating new goals. Some do New Year's resolutions, some do more intentions. I personally love looking at it from the view of intention and goal setting versus resolution, because I feel like when we are setting resolutions, there's a lot of like, it's black or white. It can be very like, oh, I have to let go of X, Y, and Z, and I have to do X, Y, and Z. And it can be a little overwhelming. And I think, a lot of people can fall off of that. Whereas when you show up with intention and goals, and you can create micro steps in that direction, and do a lot of the subconscious deeper work, that's when you can really set yourself up for success. So we're going to do a little bit of live coaching on this podcast episode, which I'm really excited to do. I don't think I've ever actually done like a live coaching in this format. So I'm really excited to share this work with the world. And Kaylee, thank you so much for coming on and being our guest today and letting me do some coaching with you. But that's a little bit about what I'm about, what we're going to be doing on the show today. And I hope that this will, shine a light on how powerful coaching can be and what it can do for people. Because I know a lot of people out there are like, oh, I don't really know what that is. So that'll give you a little bit of insight. But then also, I'm using a very particular method called the rapid rewire method. And I love using this tool in my coaching practice. So you'll get to see how rapidly we will move Kaylee through whatever she wants to work through today. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Dylan, anything else?
Yes, I appreciate you introducing the concept. And I was going to ask about rapid
Yeah.
rewire. Kasey's worked with many different clients before, and I think she's also worked with Kaylee in the past. And so there is some kind of, relationship. However, I do want to add that the importance of kind of anywhere, anytime. Kaylee and Kasey, y'all haven't spoken in how long, do you think?
Maybe 6 months-ish or 3. It's been a while since we've,
I
worked
think that's
together.
important
Yeah.
for people to understand. Like, there was no preparation for this podcast. Kaylee just signed up and said, I don't know what it is exactly, but I want to work through this one thing. And if we do it, then let's do it. And so I just want to congratulate her for just taking a chance and coming on. And they haven't spoken in over 6 months. So there is no, I guess like pre-conversation to this podcast. We're actually having a real full-fledged conversation here. So I just wanted to kind of emphasize that for all of you listening, which I think the point I bring with that is coaching can happen with anyone, anywhere, anytime. A professional coach, somebody who's gone through trainings like Kasey, can immediately meet somebody or reconnect with somebody after 6 months or longer and assess a problem and then solve it using these various methods. And that is the point that, people need to understand is that this can happen for you too. It doesn't take like a whole bunch of, preparation and work. This can really be a transformative experience. So I'll have Kasey kind of take it away from here and lead her client through what she would explain as a coaching method.
Awesome. Okay, Kaylee, are you ready?
I am ready.
Awesome. Okay, well, I mean, my style is very like, let's shoot to it, right? We're going to get to the point, we're going to process it and get you closer to where you want to be. So, what is it that you are wanting to work through today?
So the biggest thing that I want to work on right now is specifically, I know it's around really committing to my morning routine. I was trying to think with it being the new year and stuff like goals, resolutions, and things for the new year. And there really isn't any like major new thing that I want to like create or work toward. It's more just kind of like recommitting to routines and just bettering myself in all the areas and things that I'm currently doing, which I think will really start with a morning routine and really committing to my me time in the morning. And that's something that I've been struggling with for it seems like months now. So would really like to work through and figure out what some of those blocks are.
Awesome. Okay, and if you, well, let me ask you this. When you think about the struggle of like not committing to the morning routine, what is the emotion that you feel when you think about that?
When I think about the struggle, I feel overwhelmed.
Overwhelm. Okay. And if you were going to rate this overwhelm 1 to 10, and it wouldn't be a 10, I'll tell you, because 10 is like debilitating, you can't function. So just to know that that's the extremity of 10. But if you were going to rate it like 1, like not at all, to 10, where would you put this overwhelm?
I'd say a 7.
7. Okay, great. And how is this negatively affecting your life?
It is making me feel stuck.
Okay. And how would you rather feel instead?
I would rather feel proud of myself and like I'm moving forward, following through with what I say I'm going to do and promises that I've made to myself.
Okay, awesome. So proud. Is there any other feeling you want to feel?
Accomplished?
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm actually going to start you through a process where I'm going to have you write down. So I'm going to have you grab a pen and paper.
Okay.
Okay, and basically what I'm going to be taking you through, and for those of you watching, I'm going to be taking Kaylee through a process and asking her questions, and she's going to be having her own process. So you're going to be having your own process. Um, Parts of it, your eyes are going to be closed, and then parts of it, you're going to be writing. This will seem repetitive, totally normal. It's supposed to. Trust the process. And the way that you're going to get the best result is to just show up and be as real, raw, vulnerable, honest. Don't worry about what comes out. It's like we want it to be quick. So just avoid going into story. Let everything be very concise and like whatever is the first thing that pops in your mind, because we're going to be doing some digging into the subconscious. And even if it feels weird and you're like, wait, what? Like, why would I think that? Or why would I say that? Just like, don't even judge it. Just let it come out. Um, and then, yeah, you basically just get to sit back, relax, and let me guide you. And the only thing is just I need to know that I have your full commitment to see it through to the end. So do I have your full commitment to see it through?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to have you close your eyes and exhale your breath all the way out. And take a deep inhale in through your nose. And exhale, let it go. And I want you to think about the struggle that you've been having with committing to a morning routine and how that's making you feel overwhelmed. And I want you to feel the overwhelm. And as you feel the overwhelm, you might notice images that pop up. You might notice thoughts. You might notice a body sensation. And as you feel this overwhelm, I want you to open your eyes and write down 4 concise sentences about how you feel about it. Okay.
Okay.
And now I want you to read them out loud.
Okay. I feel tight in my stomach. I feel disappointed in myself. I feel stuck, and I feel like I could be further along if I could commit to this routine.
Okay, thank you. So I want you to close your eyes. And after reading all of that out loud, what image do you have?
The image is just dark.
Okay, thank you. And what thought do you have?
That I feel stuck.
Thank you. And what is the emotion that you feel?
Disappointment.
Thank you. And is there any body sensation present?
My stomach feels tight.
Okay, great. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I want you to open your eyes and write down 3 concise sentences about how you feel about the situation now.
Okay.
Got him? Okay, you can read it out loud.
Okay. I believe that I can make a change with more effort. I feel like I may be trying to commit to too much with the ideal routine, and I feel scared to fail again.
Okay, thank you. And so I want you to close your eyes. And after reading all of that out loud, what image do you have?
I see I see the image of me executing a morning routine.
Thank you. And what thought do you have?
Um, I'm thinking that it looks and sounds and feels great, but feels still overwhelming and like a lot to commit to.
Thank you. And what emotion do you feel?
Fear, scared.
Fear. Thank you. Okay. And what body sensation do you have?
Still tightness in the stomach.
Okay, great. Thank you. And so take a deep breath in and deep breath out. And I want you to open your eyes and write down 2 concise sentences about how you feel about the situation now. Okay, read them out loud.
I feel like success will more likely come with taking small steps, and I feel like I owe this to myself.
Okay, thank you. So close your eyes. And after reading that out loud, what image do you have?
I see myself getting out of bed.
Thank you. And what thought do you have?
I'm thinking that success is likely in baby steps.
Thank you. And what emotion do you feel?
I feel hopeful.
Thank you. And what is your body sensation?
More relaxed.
Thank you. And so take a deep breath in and deep breath out. And I want you to open your eyes and write down 1 concise sentence about how you feel about this situation now. Read it out loud.
I feel that if I can make commitments to others, I can also make commitments to myself.
Thank you. Now close your eyes. And after reading that out loud, what image do you have?
A bright, sunshiny morning.
Thank you. And what thought do you have?
That I'm excited for a morning routine.
Thank you. And what emotion do you feel?
Excitement.
Excitement. Thank you. And what is your body sensation?
Feels energized.
Okay, thank you. So I want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I want you to open your eyes and write down just one word about how you feel about this situation right now.
Okay.
Okay, and what is your word?
I wrote relaxed.
Beautiful. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes and I want you to feel relaxed. And as you feel relaxed, I want you to deep breathe into it, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to feel relaxed and feel this in all directions, above you, below you, to your right, to your left, in front of you, behind you. And let yourself continue to expand in the feeling of relaxed. And how do you feel right now?
I feel relaxed for sure and excited.
Excited, okay. And when you think about this original problem with committing to a morning routine and feeling stuck, where would you put that now, the overwhelm? Where would you put the overwhelm 1 to 7? I mean, 1 to 10, sorry.
3.
A 3. Great. Okay. So there's a little bit there left that I want to just clean out. We've got you to a really great place of relaxed and excited, and you can go ahead and open your eyes for a minute. So just for the audience watching, this already just using this process got her from a level 7 down to a 3, right? Like how you feel that shift, right, Kaylee?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, like literally. And how long have we, Dylan, how long have we been doing this process? Do you know how much time it's been?
It has only been about, I don't know, I think 15, 16 minutes.
Okay, so how incredible is that, right? So in like 15, 16 minutes, we took Kaylee from feeling level 7 overwhelmed to feeling relaxed and excited, right? So that's huge. Now, here's where this is like my favorite part, because this is where we get to dig a little deeper into the subconscious mind, right? Because when she thinks about that overwhelm, there's still something there because she put it at a 3. So we're going to just kind of dig in and see if we can clear the rest of it out. And now, in this case, too, this could be years and years and years and years of something, right? That's like deep inside of you that's blocking you, right? So this is where having multiple sessions would be really beneficial. But we're going to go ahead and just see if we can clear it while we've got her on here today. So are you down to do that? You want to see if we can just get rid of that last little residual?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, awesome. Let's do it. So I am going to have you close your eyes again. And I want you to feel the overwhelm. And just take a deep breath in, feeling the overwhelm. And as you feel overwhelmed, I want you to tell me the thought that arises after you feel that.
I feel like my routine has to be an all or nothing.
And after thinking that thought, how does it make you feel?
Defeated.
Thank you. And as you feel defeated, what is the thought that follows?
Feeling like if my morning routine isn't perfect, that I have failed.
Thank you. And as you think that thought, what is the emotion that you feel?
Defeated.
Okay, thank you. And as you feel defeated, what is the thought that follows?
I shouldn't bother with a morning routine if I can't fit in everything that I want it to include.
Thank you. And as you think that thought, what is the emotion that you feel?
Sad.
Thank you. And as you feel sad, what is the thought that follows?
I wish I wasn't putting so much pressure on myself.
Thank you. And as you think that thought, I wish I wasn't putting so much pressure on myself, what is the emotion that follows?
Anxiety?
Anxiety?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And as you feel the anxiety, what is the thought that follows?
I'm thinking I should reframe and reimagine how I think about a morning routine.
Thank you. And as you think that thought, what is the emotion that you feel?
Relief.
Thank you. And as you feel relief, what is the thought that follows?
I should almost start over in planning and designing a morning.
Thank you. And as you think that thought, what is the emotion that you feel?
Relief.
Thank you. And as you feel relief, what is the thought that follows?
I want to start slowly.
Thank you. And as you think that thought, what is the feeling?
I feel hopeful.
Okay, great. And so I want you to feel hopeful. Just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then as you are feeling hopeful, I want you to tell me the state that you are experiencing right now, like kind of like the essence.
Um, let's see.
Like would it be peace, calm, neutral?
Feel, yeah, I was thinking neutral.
Neutral?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I want you to just feel neutral. And I want you to dive deep into this consciousness of feeling neutral. Allow yourself to merge with it, fully enter into it, surrender to it. And whenever you've done this, just give me a nod. Okay, thank you. And so I want you to continue breathing, just breathing deeply in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then I want you to feel neutral and allow the feeling of neutral to expand in all directions, above you, below you, to your right, to your left, in front of you, behind you. Just continue expanding into this quality of neutral. And how do you feel right now?
I feel peaceful.
Okay, peaceful. Okay, great. Is there anything that opposes this peaceful feeling whenever you think about the original problem?
No.
Okay. And when you think about the overwhelm, where would you put it, 1 to 10?
1.
A 1. Okay, great. So I want you to keep your eyes closed. And I want you to tell me, what are you more conscious of now than you were before?
I am more conscious of the fact that I was trying to do too much and looking at it all or nothing.
Thank you. And what is good about this process for you?
I, I feel like I really took some steps back and I'm more refocused on what the most important thing for the morning is now.
Thank you. And what is valuable about this?
It definitely makes a morning routine seem more doable and within reach.
Thank you. And what is one specific thing that you will do today to live more fully into this new awareness?
I will start making plans for the mornings for the rest of this week.
Beautiful. Okay, you can open your eyes. That was awesome.
It was. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for being on here and just being vulnerable and showing up. Um, And, the thing is that you're not the only one going through that, right? Like there's so many people that struggle with a morning routine, and there's so many people that struggle with, creating new habits. So, I would just say for anyone out there watching, like take this whole experience as a beautiful inspiration and lesson. I'm sure so many people could pull so many nuggets out of this and like see themselves. Um, and so, it's just really incredible to me that, I mean, this was probably under 30 minutes that we took you from feeling pretty like high intensity overwhelm with this situation. And now it's like completely gone and you feel peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
kind of amazing.
Yeah. So this is why I love this stuff, because it's like, why stay stuck when we don't have to? Because now you can wake up in the morning and like you can come from a very, just like happy, excited, empowered place instead of feeling stuck and overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Amazing. So for those of you watching, that's a little peek inside of the work that I do. Um, and if anyone wants to know more information about that, you can reach out to Dylan or to me. If you feel like you are stuck and you're ready for a breakthrough and you're ready to move forward, this work is powerful. It's transformative. And the thing that I love about using this method in particular, it always works. Like I've never had it not work. And that's the incredible thing. And I always like go into a new session and I'm like, okay, like, is it going to work this time still? Like, is it going to still work? And it's like, it does every time. So, and, like full transparency, you may not clear the situation fully in one session, right? Because a lot of times, like there's some deep layers with things, right? So that might take multiple sessions, but there will always be progress. And that's what I love about it. Like you're always going to feel better at the end of a session than what you did when you started. And so that's huge right there. Dylan?
Well, I'd love to chime in because I love that process, and what I found most valuable is that the questions pertain to a self-reflection that maybe people aren't doing on their own, because, well, you can explain to people that they can actually do this method on their own, right? You process yourself around things.
Well,
all the
I do,
time,
but I do
right?
want to, I should say though that it is a very specific method. So don't try to just do it.
Well, I understand that. And
unless you have the training. Yeah.
I'm just mentioning it as like the method itself, you can do it on yourself, like if people were to go and learn it. And so I feel like just viewing it from the outside, seeing somebody kind of transform through that. I mean, Kasey's dealt with stuff that's been really emotionally traumatizing for other people. And it's not like she gets into details, but it's just more like, I know that people will put on her a lot. So sometimes it's not as maybe like as lighthearted as like the morning routine itself, because there could be some emotions attached to it, but there's some also really deep traumatical bonds or trauma bonds that you could kind of move through with the same method. And for me, and like what I was learning from her reflections was some things that maybe I would think about with habits themselves. And a couple things came to mind for me, which was one, I've got my camera's going off, but people who are listening at home, one would be the ability to visualize yourself. So if you actually visualize yourself there physically, and whatever that person looks like, doing those habits, doing those routines, that person, whoever that is, that being you, of course, that is the effective way to see yourself there and like what you become in the process, because a lot of it isn't about the goals we achieve or the outcomes that we desire, more so than it is that person that you become. And that's who we want to look forward to. So I do think of visualizing. And then another thing came up for me was starting small. It doesn't need to be all the things. Like, talk about morning routines. Kasey's got a whole method. She's got like 4 or 5 things that she does for her morning routine, And if we all feel this way, if you get one of those things done, or 2 at least, you're probably going to have a better day than if you were to just wake up and not do any of it. I know for sure that when I work out and I get a workout in, for example, I feel better than the days I don't. The hard thing is that working out takes leaving the house, going to the gym, getting into a flow, and then, you know what I mean? Like allocating enough time for that. So sometimes I miss it. And the days that I miss it, it does show up. But the commitment to that morning routine, like if it starts small, then I'm telling you, it will benefit not just yourself, because it's not about yourself. It's about all the other people in your life who will benefit from a happier person, just generally, someone who's more fulfilled. That's how I feel, at least.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, also why I love using this method too, because it can be used in such a wide range of issues, right? It could be as simple as, struggling with a morning routine and trying to create healthier habits, but it could also be like something that happened to you when you were a kid, or like when you were in a relationship and you got heartbroken, or there's just so many different things. Or there could be like a fear you've been carrying around with you your whole life that's like deep. So it could definitely, you could use this for so many different things. And that's why I love it. And, as far as like when it comes to showing up, when we're creating healthier habits and goals and how we want to show up in the day, I think it's also important to remember that like sometimes our life isn't going to look the same every day. Our energy levels aren't going to be the same every day, especially as women. Like, you know, we have hormonal cycles and we're not going to feel the same every day. And so I just want to say that like some days we have 100%. We have 100% to give. And so on those days, give it your all with 100%. But some days we have a busier schedule. We might feel more tired than normal, and we may only have like 20 or 30% to give, right? And so it's like, even if you're still showing up and giving that 20 to 30%, you're still giving it all, right? So I just want to really acknowledge that too, that like, it doesn't have to look the same every day, and to take that pressure off. But on the days when you don't have as much to give, like what can you still give, and like let that be enough.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would love to hear if Kaylee has any other thoughts as well, just given through this process, like maybe something that you would change, like something that would be something more actionable. Actually, let me ask it like this, because I just read this book, The One Thing, and there's a question that is called the focusing question. It was very similar to what Kasey asked you at the very end. But the question is, what could you do to make a morning routine possible that by doing it, it would make everything else easier or unnecessary? So what's that one thing? What would it be for you?
Yeah, so I think the one thing, and with the morning routine specifically, is committing to one thing in the morning, instead of just doing too much overwhelm. So similar to what you mentioned, Dylan, it's definitely getting a workout in. So just kind of letting go of all of the other things for right now and just committing to that one thing and letting that be a success.
Do you have a beverage that you drink in the morning?
I usually drink water first and then coffee.
Okay. I'm a coffee drinker too. So when you drink coffee, what are you doing? Are you moving?
On the day.
Okay, so you're on the move.
Moving around, getting ready for the day.
Okay, so your coffee is not a routine where you get to sit and kind of reflect. It's more like you're drinking it kind of as you're doing other things?
Yes.
Okay. I think that one thing you could do also is to try implement a little bit of an earlier wake up time, allocating enough time so that you can drink your coffee in more of a reflective place and allow the end of your coffee cup to be the beginning of you actually getting to do stuff. Because I'm somebody who is doing so many things. Like, I literally am running multiple businesses. I have so many random people to communicate with. And so I feel like I'm firing off on all cylinders as soon as I wake up. If I look at my phone, it's going to have something going on. I mean, at least 3 to 5 things happening. But I found that myself being able to sit and drink the coffee, I don't even look at the phone. Like, I put it down away. Like, it's if I can get my agenda out, I have a Panda planner. I like the Panda planner. If I do that and I just focus on writing and setting the intention for the day, I always know that maximizes like how I feel for the rest of the day, given the fact that I wasn't putting out fires immediately. So the only way we get that though is by a committed wake up time, I think. What do you think, Kasey?
Yeah, I think so. And then, also, and I struggle with this as far as like, okay, like, yes, having that morning routine is so priority, but also so sleep. So for me, it's like on the days when I have like an earlier start day and it's full of clients, I may not have as much time to get everything done in the morning, right? So I kind of have to pick what's most important to me. Um, I will say I am a person that loves to like have that time to be still and drink my coffee and just, reflect or journal, meditate, whatever. But on the days when, I'm like, I gotta kind of like get up and go, I might cut some of the things, right? Like I might not do everything that I would do on another morning, but I would kind of sit with like what's going to nourish me the most. And it might look like trying different things on for you, Kaylee. It might be sitting in that reflection and just having a little bit of stillness, but it might be movement, and you might have to pick one or the other on some mornings. Some mornings you might get to do it all, right? So that's my thought around that. But I do think it's a great suggestion, and I personally love it. Like I do try to make sure that I'm waking up with enough time to have that stillness and reflection time. I think a lot of clarity comes through in those moments. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a quote for you guys. If you are disciplined when the amounts are small, then you will be rewarded when the amounts are large.
hmm
This is true for a lot of different things. Now, from a masculine point of view, as I might say, sometimes what motivates me, if I look at a certain discipline or a new habit or something that maybe I could do to better myself or to improve myself or to make myself better in the business that I'm in or in the life that I'm in, like pursuing career, everything, is viewing it as a competition. Okay. If you're competing, let's just say in general, in any athletic endeavor, but in a place where you feel like I'm going to compete, if it's athletically or in an industry, like a market, then look at yourself like, hey, what if my nemesis, what if my opponent, what if my competition is adding in these or implementing these habits that I want for myself? And if they're doing it and I'm competing against them, that means they're getting ahead. Now that's just my like more masculine. If there's men listening, obviously, but also it could be true for women, right? Like if you feel like you are in a competition, like if you feel like you are in an industry that's competitive, that it could help to view it as, hey, you know what? What if somebody was out there competing against me, using the same methods, using the same habits? What if they're doing them better than me? I mean, those are just some things that come through for me, and yeah, just focusing purely on the positive outcome of this habit, not focusing like, oh, the cold shower, like that's going to suck, No, focus on the endorphins and the dopamine that maybe comes from that as a result and focus on that entirely. So yeah, I mean,
I love that.
there's a lot of habit stuff. Go ahead. Yep.
To add on to that, I would say, uh, how can you make the environment really exciting? Because if you can feel excited in your environment when you're waking up to do your routine, that will really help. So kind of take a peek at the environment. How can you create more excitement? Make it a little more yummy. And then the other thing is your identity. right? So it's like, you know what you want to accomplish, but who are you when you accomplish that, right? Like, who is the Kaylee that gets up and has the morning routine versus not? So, like, tuning into that and embodying that person. And then the other key thing that I would have you really look at is why, right? We know the what. We want the consistent morning routine. Why is that important to you? So I would
Yeah.
definitely sit and reflect with those things, and I think it'll be really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I appreciated everybody's inputs here, and Kaylee, your contribution, like it might have touched somebody listening. It might have impacted them and allowed them to feel like, okay, it's okay to feel like where she's at, and that's
Mhm.
what's the perspective that people need, that it's okay to be right where you are, and yeah, I think this is a unique experience for us to do this on this podcast too, kind of a coaching session like this. So I really appreciate Kasey thinking of it and then executing on it. So we're really excited about that. Obviously, we could continue to do more. Maybe people will listen to this and think, "Oh, I want to do that. I would share my testimony, or I would be willing to do this same thing that Kaylee was open to doing on the podcast." So we can receive more inputs on that. But otherwise, we can probably close off the podcast with those in mind. If Kasey or Kaylee want some like last words, I'm welcome to hearing those, and we can
Well,
yeah.
as a former coach of Kaylee's, well, I do have to remind you and others out there listening. Well, first, I just want to shout her out for a second because Kaylee ran a marathon this year, or last year. We're in the new year now. And that was something that at one point she thought was impossible. And she started with just doing like smaller runs, and then she did a half marathon, or like a couple, I think you did a couple of half marathons, right?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she ran a full marathon. I mean, I just want to say, like, that is a huge accomplishment. And the fact that she had the belief in herself, she did the training, she did the inner work, and she showed up for it. And so, my reminder to you, Kaylee, and all of you out there listening is like, if you can do that, you can do anything, right? Like, you showed up for that big accomplishment. And so that is proof of what you're capable of. And so if you want to create a consistent morning routine, you know you can do it. So just take that with you as a reminder. And for all of you out there, tuning into this, what is something that you've done in the past that you didn't think you could do, but you did it, right? Use that as your fuel and as proof to propel you forward with whatever is new that you're taking steps towards now. So that's what I'll close with.
Kaylee, any last words from you?
Just to say thank you. This has been so great.
You're so welcome. Thank you for coming on.
You're
Yeah, it
welcome.
was an absolute pleasure. Well, all the descriptions will be in the links below. So all of you listening, you can connect with Kasey and see more about her coaching, as well as my own coaching. And so I'll leave all that there. Appreciate all of you listening, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day.